The year is 1526. Somewhere in the Caribbean Sea, a Spanish vessel splinters against submerged rocks. Wood screams. Sails tear. Men vanish beneath frothing waves. One sailor, Pedro Serrano, fights through the chaos with singular focus: reach land. Any land. His arms slice through cold water as debris rains down around him. Behind him, his ship disappears forever. When dawn arrives, Serrano drags himself onto sand. He lies motionless, chest heaving, salt burning his eyes. The ocean has taken everything. His crewmates. His belongings. His future. He scans the waterline, hoping to see others pulling themselves ashore. Hours pass. No one comes. By nightfall, the truth settles over him like a burial shroud. He is alone. Daylight reveals his new world. Serrano walks the island's perimeter, each step confirming his worst fears. This place is enormous yet utterly barren. No palms sway overhead. No springs bubble from the earth. Just sand stretching endlessly under brutal sunshine. He estimates it would take half a day to cross from one side to the other, yet there's nowhere to go. No shelter. No shade. No salvation. The realization hits him with physical force. Ships do sail these waters. Spanish galleons carry treasure and troops between colonies. But the Caribbean is enormous, and this island is invisible. A grain of sand in an endless blue desert. Who would search for him here? Who even knows he survived? The odds of rescue aren't merely slim. They're astronomical. But Serrano refuses to surrender to despair. Survival demands action. He needs water. He needs food. Immediately. He scours the beach, finding small crabs and shellfish clinging to rocks. He pries them loose and swallows them raw, grimacing at the texture. There's no wood for fire, no stones for sparks. For now, he must eat like an animal. Then fortune offers a small mercy. Massive sea turtles emerge from the surf, hauling themselves onto the sand to lay eggs. Serrano moves quickly, using his body weight to flip the creatures onto their backs. They thrash helplessly, limbs paddling air. With the blade he carries on his belt, he makes quick work of them. The blood is warm and sustains him. The meat, left to cure in the sun, becomes provisions. The enormous shells transform into bowls for catching precious rainwater. Days blur together. Serrano develops routines. He checks his turtle shell reservoirs each morning. He hunts along the shore. He watches the horizon until his eyes ache. Weeks become months. His skin darkens and cracks. His hair grows wild. His clothes disintegrate into rags. But he clings to one obsession: fire. Without fire, he remains invisible. Smoke signals are his only hope of attracting passing ships. But creating fire seems impossible. Back in civilization, he would strike flint against steel. Here, the island offers no such stones. Or does it? Serrano remembers the rocky shallows that destroyed his ship. Perhaps those same rocks could save him. He plunges into the water beyond the beach, diving repeatedly into the depths. His lungs scream for air. His muscles burn. Day after day, he searches the seafloor, surfacing empty-handed and gasping. Other men would abandon this futile quest. Serrano persists. Finally, after countless dives, his fingers close around suitable stones. He hauls them back to shore, one by one, building his collection. The process of making fire becomes his life's work. He chips the stones against each other until edges sharpen. He tears his remaining shirt into strips. Then, with methodical patience, he strikes stone against his blade, directing sparks onto the fabric. Again. 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 Smoke curls from the cloth. A tiny flame emerges. Trembling, he transfers it to driftwood he's gathered. The fire catches. Holds. Grows. Serrano nearly weeps with relief. He has conquered the island's greatest challenge. Now he builds his fire larger, feeding it constantly, never letting it die. He constructs a crude shelter using driftwood and turtle shells. He establishes a permanent camp. All he must do now is wait. Someone will see his smoke. Someone will come. But no one does. Sails appear on the horizon occasionally. Serrano waves frantically, feeds his fire until black smoke billows skyward. Yet every ship continues past. Perhaps they fear the dangerous rocks. Perhaps they mistake his island for a navigational hazard. Perhaps they simply don't see him. Each disappearing sail crushes him a little more. 3 years pass. 3 years of solitude. 3 years of talking to himself to remember human speech. 3 years of wondering if he'll die here, forgotten. Then, one night, everything changes. Serrano sleeps fitfully near his fire. He doesn't hear the distant storm. He doesn't see the ship struggling against towering waves. He doesn't witness it smashing against the very rocks that claimed his own vessel years ago. But when morning comes, another survivor stumbles onto the beach. The stranger sees smoke and runs toward it, desperate for human contact. But what he finds terrifies him. A wild figure emerges from behind the flames. Naked. Covered head to toe in matted hair. Eyes wide and feral. The stranger freezes, convinced he's encountered some island demon. Serrano, for his part, cannot process what he's seeing. Another human? Impossible. He's been alone so long. This must be madness finally claiming him. Hallucinations. Fever dreams. He panics, stumbling backward, shouting prayers to the Virgin Mary. He flees across the sand. The stranger, hearing Spanish prayers, understands. "Brother, wait," he calls out. "I'm Christian like you. Please, stop running." The words penetrate Serrano's terror. He halts. Turns. Studies this impossible figure. The stranger approaches slowly, hands raised peacefully. When they finally embrace, both men collapse, sobbing uncontrollably. Serrano has found what he thought lost forever, companionship. They spend days exchanging stories. The newcomer describes the storm, the shipwreck, his lonely swim to shore. Serrano recounts his 3 years of isolation, his survival methods, his near madness. They laugh. They plan. They imagine rescue together. But paradise doesn't last. Living together proves difficult. Arguments erupt over trivial matters. Who collected more firewood? Who caught more fish? Who's shirking responsibilities? The tension escalates until they can barely stand each other's presence. In anger, they divide the island in half, each claiming separate territory. Months pass in stubborn silence. They maintain separate fires, separate shelters, separate lives. The absurdity eventually becomes undeniable. Here they are, the only two humans on an empty island, treating each other as enemies. Pride gave way to loneliness. They reconcile, sheepish and grateful. For more years crawl by. They survive together, their bond strengthened by shared hardship. But ships continue ignoring their signals. Hope fades. They discuss death often. Perhaps drowning would be preferable to this endless waiting. Then, finally, a vessel approaches. Sailors spot their smoke and dispatch a small boat to investigate. Serrano and his companion dance on the beach like madmen, screaming and waving. The approaching sailors nearly turn back, frightened by these wild, hairy creatures. Only when the castaways shout Christian prayers do the rescuers understand. They're saved. After 7 years, Serrano is going home. His companion, tragically, dies of fever before reaching Spain. But Serrano survives. He returns to wealth and fame, his story inspiring books and songs. He lives comfortably, advising other sailors, funding rescue expeditions. His name endures not just as a survivor, but as a symbol of human resilience against impossible odds. The island remains, unchanged and empty, waiting for the next soul the sea decides to strand upon.